Welcome back to the Matous Exhibition Center right here on the Missouri State Fairgrounds in Sedalia. I'm Rod Tompkins and joined now by the head coach of the Kansas City Renegades, Ken Matous. And I tell you what, Coach, it got a little wild, a little woolly there at the end of that one. Victory number 4 in a row, though, for your Renegades team. You got to be a proud man.
That's the most important thing, winning 4 in a row. It wasn't pretty at all, and we had some issues with our center prior to the game, and we had to sit him down a little bit, some off-the-field issues, so we set him, and it kind of put us in a little bit of a disarray early, but we kind of worked our way out of it. And so, and then just the fact that, we're still playing one of our starting receivers.
Right, and I'll tell you what, working double duty at times, at least anyway. I believe Brandon Russell, he was centering for you,
yes,
and also
guard.
Playing on the defensive line.
Yes, nose
Must
guard.
have thought he was back in high school or something.
The old arena game was an Ironman game where guys went both ways, but we don't like to do that.
Oh, definitely not. You get a full platoon team playing against you and things like that. It can be for an awful long night then.
You bet it can. And a long night for those guys because it's hard to go both ways and go several plays in a row. It just wears on you. Well,
Carlos Cavanaugh, the guy who doesn't get a lot of playing time, I don't believe it had any playing time before last week, quarterbacks you to 2 victories in a row. And I tell you what, this Mid-Mo team that you came in 0-5, they're playing at home. Not an ounce of quit in them. I personally feel like they're probably better than now an 0-6 football team.
Yeah, they probably are. It's hard to gauge just because we were, playing really our backup quarterback and really our third string center. I mean, so we were kind of disarray there, and those are key positions on the offensive side of the ball that you have to have, and you have to be. Those things need to be functioning at a high rate. And we also had to replace our long snapper this week, too. So that hurt us, and that cost us a couple snaps there that didn't do well on.
I like your kicking game. Freebird, I think he does a good job. Very, very solid. You're gonna over the course of an indoor game, you're gonna miss a couple kicks. That's all there is to it.
Well, and then the kickoffs in this ceiling's so low that you can't kick it high.
I have to duck whenever I walk past midfield.
Yeah, no, and so that was one of the things. You have to have a different strategy in a field like this, in a arena like this with a low ceiling.
I know one thing the strategy of the Outlaws was: don't kick it to O.J. Simpson.
That was smart on their part.
No doubt about it. He's had at least 5, maybe 6 touchdown returns off of kickoffs this year already. And we talked to O.J. before the game. I'll tell you what, he's a guy that's got a great energy and a great feel about him. And I'm assuming he's probably as good in the locker room as he is anywhere else.
He is. He's an outstanding person, first of all. And then second of all, he's a heck of a player. And he knows how to make plays and make it happen. And he is a team guy. He is a huge team guy. And I just love him for that.
We were talking with your owner, Jeremy Plager, earlier. I was talking with Ryan whenever he was up here as well.
Yep.
Talking defensive guys. Tion Wilson has been huge for you, for your team. Last week played very well again tonight as well.
He did at that.
But a guy who I'd say if I was going to give an award out of the games I broadcast for the highest level, most consistent defensive performer, is a guy that ends up getting ejected from this game, David Garrett. He's played at an exceptionally high level.
He really did, and it was one of those plays that was a high ball, and everyone was going up for it, and he hit the receiver. I don't think it is. I'm going to look at the film. I was standing right there. I don't think it was an ejectable thing, but it did cause some things, a little scuffle down there that maybe the officials just felt they needed to control at that point. So we'll watch the film. We'll see where it's at.
I think if we're going to start ejecting people at that point, we also need to go over and find number 55 from the Outlaws and send him on his way as well.
He tried to stir up a lot of stuff out there.
Well, it didn't stir up enough. Your football team still comes away with the victory, and maybe not quite as emphatic of a victory as you would have expected here. Part of that goes credit to the Outlaws and their quarterback, Christian Kyle. He's not a guy, Jeremy and I were talking about this earlier, he's not going to beat you with a 45-yard pass. No. He's not going to go 17 of 18 or anything like that, but he is a guy who's very athletic, very adept, especially in the second half. He had a really rough first half, but in that second half, his ability to avoid the rush and kind of circle around and get out of trouble. When a guy can buy that kind of time, you're going to find somebody open.
What he did was good on their part. I think they had a couple nice little drives. We scored real quick, so our defense, if you really look in the third quarter, was out there probably about 3-1 of us offensive-wise, which then what it does is it really makes your front tired and everything, and so it's hard for them to maintain their pass rush, and then that allowed him to scramble and get some guys that were open 2 times that shouldn't have happened.
Right, neither one of those touchdown passes were beautifully thrown balls or anything like that.
No, but
more or less broken plays. He got it done, though.
Got it done. He did it and that's my hat's off to him for doing that.
Some other guys, we got to talk about your defensive backs, a couple of them in particular here tonight. We know Alfonso Hodge had a huge interception a couple weeks ago, and that was critical in picking up that victory. David Garrett's been solid all season long, like you say. Dante Moore, 3 interceptions tonight, one of them for a pick six, a touchdown, and Stuart Frank, the first one, and that one coming early in the game really set the tone.
Yeah, it did, and Dante's last one right there for next to last one right there for the touchdown was huge, just because they had the momentum, they'd gotten the ball down there where they could score, and I think they were just down 7 at that point, and all of a sudden, boom, we're back up to 14.
I thought Anthony Parks a good game tonight, as he's generally. As we'll talk a little bit about your kickoff returns. We know O.J. Simpson has been huge. Parks, plays 5-7 yards in front of O.J. on those. He got a lot of balls tonight and a couple of really nice returns. Almost broke one for a touchdown. Sometimes he goes a little bit unheralded. I think
he does.
Played a good football game though.
He does. He's a heck of a football player from over at Olathe East and then Central Missouri. I think a little stint at Butler County too over there. But he gets a little frustrated out there just with the fact that we don't always get in the ball enough, and that's anyone. Everyone wants to catch the ball, and when he does touch it, it's usually very productive. And he did a great job with the kick returns in there, and then he had a big block on one of the touchdowns. He had a huge block on one of the scores down here, and it was awesome to see him do that stuff.
Of course, you're winning a lot of football games, and guys probably embracing whatever roles they've got at this point. I'll tell you what, my guess is you'd probably like to get Jared Elmore the football a little bit more.
Well, yeah, I would. He and CJ work hard, and you see him get better in practice every day, and hopefully we'll find time to get him. I was hoping we'd get a nice little lead here and then be able to get him out there for the whole fourth quarter, but we didn't do that. We made it interesting, kept the beer sales going and the people in the stands.
There you go. And I'll tell you what, you make it easy for me to look smart sometimes up here. It's not easy to do that, first of all, but you do, especially you get down there inside the red zone, inside the 10-yard line. I know what's going to happen most of the time. You might try Keithan Valentine on, to one side or the other or something like that. But I know if you want to score, you're going to maybe overload it to one side. You're going to look for Clinton Solomon.
Oh,
There's nobody in this league that can guard him down there.
No, and we went to him one too many times there with on that pick right there. Carlos should have hit it. They'd blitzed it, and they had Anthony Parks underneath there, and so we should have hit the blitzer right there, and Anthony probably would have scored because everyone was chasing Clinton. But, you live and learn, and Carlos has done a good job for us, and, hey, he's won more games than any quarterback here this year. So.
No doubt about it, and that's pretty good stuff. We'll expect to see Xavier Lee back next week then?
He's due back. He's due back on Tuesday, I believe, Monday night or Tuesday. So hopefully he'll be here, and we'll be back in the normal mode of things and going from there. But you know what? If it calls for Carlos to do the job, he'll step up and do it.
And obviously he can get it done. A couple of big games coming up. Salina, who they think and everyone says is playing really good football right now. And that Sioux City team, bottom line, come the end of the year, they're going to be one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, they are. And they're so they're a veteran team, and they're so well coached, and they got a great quarterback. And they just play solid defense. They don't make a lot of mistakes. Salina's playing hot. I think they're 3-2, had a big win. Their first road trip up to Lincoln yesterday and won 31-19 over Lincoln, which was kind of a surprise. But they've got a good quarterback. Their skill kids are getting better, and I think they've made some moves on defense, and it looks like they're going to be a real good football team.
Not a real pretty game here at the Matthewson Exhibition Center, but again, it's a win. And I wanted to talk about a couple more guys. I don't want to leave anybody out, but a couple guys I feel like I need to talk about. They're Brandon Squared, Brandon Smith, Brandon Russell, both out of Mid-American Nazarene. They both had really big games.
Yes, they did. They kept the pressure going. We broke down a couple times on containment with those guys, but they came back and played well, kept the pressure going. Whatever nose guard we put on that center all night was just beating the heck out of him. He was all over the place and had a long night, but yet he kind of acted like he was a superstar out there. So who knows?
Absolutely. Just like Mr. Plager said, we're going to be broadcasting every game because you guys can't lose with us up here.
There's no doubt about it, especially when you wear those 8-10 shirts and looking pretty sharp.
All right. Hey, at least somebody's got that opinion anyway. Ken Matous, the head coach of the Kansas City Renegades, has been our guest here post-game. Anything else you want to leave us with, Coach?
No, I just appreciate the fans that came over. We had had probably 50, 60 people over here that I recognized.
I think it was way more than that, actually.
Hopefully there's a lot, and it's close here. But next week Salina will probably travel a bunch of people, and so I'm excited to see them. One of my old players, Jake Sharp, is a co-owner over there, so we got to beat him. You
got somebody that's an ex quarterback or an ex assistant coach or something everywhere in this league, as near as I can tell.
Well, I'm getting that age, and I just hope I don't have to coach against their grandkids.
I know this much. They've all got high opinions of you and everything like that, and with good reason. Doing a nice job.
Well,
we always enjoy talking to you. Keep up the good work.
Thanks
and
for having me.
We'll look forward to talking to you after a whole bunch more Renegade wins.
I like it.
Coach Matous, Jim Bly here.
Yeah.
Really wanted to say thank you for letting us mic you up tonight. That was awesome. I hope the fans enjoyed it.
I think I slipped a few times because of bad snaps will make – I think I got a few more gray hairs too.
Well, we kind of controlled some of that, and it is the internet. But here's what I want to know. Did you give 810 WHB, Rod Tompkins, and Jim Bly the MVP ball for 4 in a row?
You guys deserve it because – until you showed up, we were over. So all I'm going to say is it's got to be you guys.
Maybe after we help you avenge those 2 losses from earlier in the season when we weren't there, maybe we'll deserve one then.
Well, we might do that, and then but I'll have to talk to the owner, see if he can get a ball for each of you guys over there, and then maybe one for the 8-10 zone over
That'd
there.
be awesome.
At Town Center.
That would be great.
Okay.
We'd love that.
All
And
right.
also, let the guys know in the locker room that we are the off-the-field MVP, and to let everybody know about us. And
I will do that. Because there's only one consistent factor, you guys. Everything else was here before.
Different quarterbacks every game, people getting hurt. We're here no matter what. But
and we appreciate it.
We love it. We like to joke about it, of course. But we know it's all you guys down there on the field. But it's been a lot of fun for us. We're getting to know the players and stuff a lot better. And they're happy to see us when we get out of here, as we're happy to see them. And we're really enjoying ourselves. And like I said, looking forward to a lot more victories, Coach.
Well, we're glad you're part of it. And we're getting a lot of feedback from fans and people like that. And even all my crazy relatives down in Wichita, they've watched it all and they've enjoyed this phase of it here.
Good deal. Thanks a lot for stopping by. As always, we appreciate it. And we'll talk to you come next week. And I'll make sure and send you that email we talked about earlier this week.
Yes. Yeah, we'll do that.
That's Ken Matous. He's the head coach of the Renegades. And a victor here again, 4 in a row for the Renegades. We'll take a little break, come back the other side of that, and wrap it up right here on 810 WHB TV.